Protesters in Denver, Colorado are demanding a coffee shop close for good after posting a sign celebrating gentrification. The Ink coffee shop sparked outrage last week after placing a sandwich board outside the shop that read, and I quote, "happily gentrifying the neighborhood since 2014." End quote. People immediately blasted the shop on Twitter, calling the sign insensitive to a real problem. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock even tweeted, and I quote, "so disappointing, very insensitive and disrespectful. Who thought this was okay?" End quote. The coffee shop chain released a statement 3 hours later on Twitter saying, and again I quote, "we sincerely apologize for our street sign. Our bad joke was never meant to offend our vibrant and diverse community," end quote. But over the weekend, hundreds of protesters gathered outside the shop, calling for it to become a community center. They want the center to help people with housing and other issues made worse by redevelopment and the rising cost of living.
They're being pushed out. The cost of everything is going up.
You have failed us.
Yes. Yes.
When it comes to economic opportunity in this neighborhood, you have failed us.
So protesters also want Mayor Hancock to resign, but in a statement, Hancock says he wants to establish economic mobility actions to help the community. So I'm going to go to the panel. You know, gentrification is a real problem. You know, I remember as a young student at Howard University, the neighborhood has changed so much. When you go near campus these days, you see it filled with with white people that I never saw before. People with baby strollers, they're jogging, they're running. We are pushing out low-income people. So it gives rise to the real question, like, where are we to live?
Right. This is a real issue, and you can't just frame this as some kind of reverse racism. Black folks are against white folks. We're some of the most inclusive, inviting people that there are, right? But when we have economic development in places like Detroit and other places, and we celebrate, hey, isn't this great, right? But people are pushed out. We're just shifting around economic inequality and pushing folks into the Fergusons of the world, right? We've got a real economic development is inclusive economic development where there's something in it for everyone, where it's not just, oh, some white folks move in and therefore things are better. We need more real inclusive economic development.
So Karen, let me ask you, and then I'll come to you, Greg. When you read what the poster board said, what did you feel? Like, to me, I thought they were saying, oh, we're celebrating our neighborhood has turned white and we helped it get that way.
So that is exactly what they were celebrating. And I read, not only did I research this further, I read the CEO's further statement and then the ad agency statement.
And what did you glean from it?
This neighborhood where this Ink coffee shop is held is in the quote-unquote Harlem of the West. It's a traditional African-American neighborhood in Denver. And to put this sign up, happily gentrifying the neighborhood, like this was a sign of community outreach, is ridiculous.
Yes.
And then the CEO said, oh, I thought this was something positive, that this was going to be well accepted. This was the ad agency's idea. And then the ad agency said, oh, well, we thought this was funny and just a joke and that people would laugh.
But I mean, here's the absurdity of that. Even if it was the ad agency's idea, like, they didn't do it for free,
no,
right?
The
CEO, the company paid for it, so they knew what they were buying. What do you make of this? Like, what are we to do?
Well, in a phrase, the great educator Barbara Sizemore from Chicago said it, black folks still don't get it.
No.
In other words, this is about naked capitalism.
Money.
If you got the money, you can live where you want.
That's right.
When you got a black judge in Mississippi that's saying under the 13th Amendment, this is a vestige of slavery, and nobody will hear his argument, you know that the law has failed us.
Yes.
When you got folks saying, let's get economic development and maybe we can address it this way, no, the law has failed us. We have to start acting in our own interests.
Yeah.
This isn't going to end until we end it, and we can't be a few black appointed here, a few black representatives, a few black millionaires. No, we have to think about this as a community.
And the racist intent was so flagrant.
Yeah.
Everyone in Denver should be up in arms. I got to go.
Absolutely.
I got to move ahead.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV 1.